How much money are they going to take from me today? So you ever notice how it's almost impossible now to go out into the world without somebody trying to scam you and fuck you over for your money? You know, whether it's a subscription that you don't use for like months on end, for a product that you should have been able to buy, that you used to be able to just buy. Or whether it's a trucking company that says they're going to pay you so much a mile, but then shaves off anywhere from 30 to 60 miles off of your load because they call it zip code to zip code. In spite of, we have had GPS technology for quite some time now, enough to know the exact mileage of the route. So why not pay the exact mileage of the route? I'll tell you why. Because it's a fucking scam, that's why. You know, truck stops. Actually, it's beyond just truck stops, but a lot of them now have decided to mark off half their parking lots as reserved parking, in which you can pay $25 to guarantee your parking spot. Which, by the way, in 21 years of trucking, I have never paid to park. And I never fucking will. I've parked in those spots. Don't get me wrong. I've backed into them. I got the knock once. Sorry, this is reserved. And I just moved. It was fine. But I know why this is happening at truck stops. It's getting worse. I've seen, a bunch of motherfuckers painting reserved in front of trucks that are parked already. So they're actually increasing the number of spots. It boils down to inflation, which is how we are all getting scammed. Everybody watching this video, you're getting fucked. Inflation is a hidden tax. And it's been bothering me because I'm watching this money just evaporate. But my paycheck is not inflating with these prices that seemingly go up every week. Every week. Sometimes 20 to 30%. I wish I could find an investment that will give me 20 and 30% every week. And then annualize that, Jesus. So, I could sit here and just, I've had this uncontrollable burst of nihilism that's happened since Steve passed away. That's made me just zoom out and examine my life and examine why am I even doing all of this. I know why I'm doing it. The only reason is I have a girlfriend. That's it. My girlfriend's my reason for going at this point. and I'd like to spend more time with her, but yet here I am. And why am I here? Because I'm getting scammed, just like the rest of you, with inflation and with predatory lending. Now, granted, I'm going to take some personal responsibility here. I got myself into the credit card mess. I got myself into the car loan mess. 100% my fault. It's not like I didn't know what I was getting into. At the time I got into it, I was making a decent amount of money in trucking. But then I got tired of the present. So I had the brilliant idea, I'll just quit, and I'll figure it out with the gig economy. Well, y'all, if you've been watching the channel a while, you know that didn't go well. Because the van kept breaking down, I got in an accident with the van, and as a result, I also didn't have an emergency fund when I quit, at least one not adequate. I think I had $1,000 at the time I quit. And so I pretty much set myself up for failure at that point. And meanwhile, inflation's still going. It doesn't matter who's in office, by the way. The only thing that changes is which corporations are benefiting from the inflation. Trump, by the way, he's part of the problem. We got more $5 trillion just added with the big beautiful bill, and then if you go back in time to when he was in office during COVID, he sent out a bunch of stimulus checks. Well, all of that we're paying for it now. When you go out and pay $15 for your value meal at McDonald's, guess what? You're paying back all that money that got printed. That you didn't get all of it, though. A lot of money was printed, but it didn't go in your pocket. Where did it go? I'll give you a hint. Corporations. That's it. Stockholders. If you look at the stock market in relation to inflation, they're making money. Lots of money. And you're losing money. So if you're just sitting there and you're busting your ass 70 hours a week just to try and pay your ever-increasing rent or your mortgage that just went up $1,000 because the insurance for all the mortgages went up and you didn't have enough in your escrow account to cover that, it's more scams. It's more scams to transfer wealth, aka your time spent working, to somebody else who's probably just sitting on a fucking beach with a laptop. And I've been looking at that and I'm like, I don't know how to win because obviously I made some mistakes. And when Steve passed, I was like, well, that's it. I'm got to go in the box, try and pay down my credit card debt, and then start all over again with the gig economy once I get the debt paid down. And I've been in that nihilistic mindset as a result. So now I've been actually starting to come out of that. I've been pulling out of that. I've been examining some mistakes I made when I got into trading, which I'm still viewing that as possibly the only way out of this, is to get myself to where I have a fully funded account to trade options with or to buy stocks outright. Always be buying dollar cost average, that kind of traditional shit, but also trying to speed it up a bit with options trading, because I'm not getting any younger. And statistically speaking, truck drivers die at age 62. Average. And looking at what's going on out here, I don't know if you've been following, but there's that bad accident in Florida with the video that of somebody who was illegally in this country. They gave him a CDL in California, and then no shit, he's in the fucking slow lane. A fucking van's coming up, a minivan with 3 motherfuckers in it. It's coming up, and he's like, oh, I gotta turn around. And he sees the turnaround in the middle of the interstate. You know, the one cars aren't even supposed to use it, let alone trucks. And he's like, and he just turns his wheel to do his U-turn with maybe one truck length for this minivan to try and stop. Van didn't stop. 3 lives lost for somebody that jumped the border and got here, and somebody handed him a CDL. Here you go. And you won't know what? He wasn't the only one that got one of them CDLs that got handed out to him without any real vetting on if they're able to drive or not. That's who I'm out here working with. Somebody that at any time I could be going down the road and one of those trucks with the spray painted fucking DOT number on the side and the duct tape holding the little fucking name of the trucking company on decides, hey, I gotta get over. And he just starts jerking his wheel, and then next thing you know, I'm getting crushed and rolled over and who knows what. So yeah, I'm betting that 62 might be conservative of an estimate of my life expectancy should I stay in this box. So I've got a lot of motivation to try and get the fuck out of this box. And, you know, and it's all a scam, all of it. You know, you're not getting paid what you should be getting paid to be out here. You know, the numbers are going up, but they're not going up at the same rate inflation is. So the buying power is going down. So it's like getting an effective pay cut. And it's evident. I don't need somebody on the fucking internet to give me an opinion or a news story or any of that shit to know that I'm getting fucked on a weekly basis. And I needed to stop being fucked. All right? I need to unfuck myself. I've started to get that spark again, though, where I got to do something. I got to do something to, you know, I just can't sit here and just pluck away at the credit debt and not try and set myself up for success when I decide to get out of this box. Because the longer I'm in this box, the more likely it is that some motherfucker who got handed his CDL for $250, I've seen the signs on the side of the fucking highway, seen the sign, get your CDL, only $250 to get started. Well, obviously there's a contract and they got to sell their soul, but you know, it is what it is. Another scam, by the way. And guess what? They get a CDL with zero knowledge on how to back, can't even speak English or read the signs. And I've encountered this as a trainer, and it's frustrating and it's dangerous to everyone on the road. But nobody's doing anything about it. You know why? The guy that killed 3 people, he's just getting deported. He'll be back. We'll see him in a year. He'll cross the border somewhere else. Come in. Go to one of those sanctuary states. They'll say, here you go, you need some work. Here you go, we need some taxes, you need some work. Sounds like we can work something out here. And they're going to hand him another CDL, and he's going to be out here killing more people. And I don't want to be one of them. You know, I don't want to be one of them. And I'm sure you don't either. And you're not even a truck driver, probably. Probably just a normal motherfucker going to work on a Tuesday. Somebody could do that to you and get away with it. Why? Because it's a fucking scam. That's why. Because corporations are making tons of money, moving the freight around. And if you think they don't pay us enough, what do you think they're paying him? Not to mention they're running him illegal and they're, you know, doing things, playing games with the ELD logs, you know, which isn't a new concept. Back when we had paper logs, that was just as bad. So, you know, and it's just crazy. And I don't want to be out here because of it. Like, when I saw that video, I was like, I've seen that several times a day, every day. Stupid shit like that. Every day. Every fucking day. It's going on right now while I'm making this video. Somebody is dying on the side of the road because somebody did some shit like that. And I don't want to be part of that. I want to get out of this. I realize I got myself in this mess. I chose this career, but I need to be done. I need to be retired. In retirement, I didn't save for it. And now with the inflation, there's no sign that anybody's cleaning up this inflation mess. No. They're not going to raise interest rates. In fact, Guess what they want to do? They want to lower interest rates. You know what that tells me? Tells me that the fucking scam's still going. Don't care who's in office, who's in charge, who's running shit. The scam stays the same. The people that own the stocks, the people that own the companies, they want to keep making more money. The people that work for a living, the people that are out here in the 9 to 5 grind or getting replaced by AI or driving the truck, we're going to keep losing our buying power. But we won't say anything about it because apparently we're just too stupid to figure out that, hey, it keeps, like, prices keep going up. The dollar store is now the $3 store. You know, McDonald's now is, you get the smallest burger on the planet for double the price. It's all about you have to pay more and get less. That's it. That's the scam. And we're all in it. And it's gotten worse. You can look up the statistics on this. There's people out there getting rich. They get up in the morning, they drink their coffee, they look at some stock charts, they do some day trades. Oh, made my 50% today. And meanwhile, you lose money while you're sleeping in the form of buying power. So, now that I'm getting a little bit of fire under my ass, I've started doing my homework on trading again. I'm going to correct some of the mistakes I made the first time around. And I'm going to try and do better. I got to try. If I don't try, I'm fucked. I'll be stuck in this truck for years. I don't want to be stuck in this truck for years. I need to actively and aggressively work on building some passive income so that I can get the fuck out of this, so that, yeah, I may still have to do some gig economy shit, but it'll be just so I can invest a little more and keep the thing growing, instead of the way I did it before, which was try and live off of my trading before I even had a fully funded account, which the definition of that is having enough in the account that my trading can provide enough income passively to support my lifestyle, which isn't that ambitious. It's more ambitious now, but once I get the credit cards paid down, maybe knock down the balance on my van quite a bit. I'd like to pay it off. But, to at least be able to support keeping the van going, and my other few little bills. But that's what I want to work on, and I'm trying to get up. Now, by the way, the stock market can be a scam. There's algorithms and AI and shit that are just waiting. They're like, oh, you're going to trade. You're going to be a trader, huh? But I'm learning, and I'll share once I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I consider myself a brand new beginner. I'm learning some simple trading strategies that I've already kind of fucked with, but I went about it the wrong way and at the wrong time. Lost my ass during the tariff crash. But if I'd have just kept going and had the money to keep going and didn't have all these catastrophes that kept happening, because that's what cleaned out my trading account ultimately. Yeah, I was down to my last $100. I took it out and I didn't look back because I couldn't afford to build it back up. And that was the mistake, because you got to be able to absorb those dips, statistically speaking, to be profitable, because there's going to be crashes. It's one constant. But even that's a scam, though. There's lots of scams. Somebody inevitably is going to be in my comments. I bought Bitcoin back, when it was 75,000. Look at it now. Or back when it was 30,000. Look at it now. I've retired. That's great. I'm happy for you. That's not me. I didn't do that. I'm turning 50 and I got jack shit in my fucking brokerage account. I think I bought one share of NVIDIA so far. And I'm probably going to sell it and start trading options to try and boost the snowball, get the snowball rolling while I have an income to throw at it. So, but I don't know. How do you feel like tell me in the comments, how are you being scammed? You should really sit down and take a full accounting on how you're getting fucked by somebody that's a lot richer than you and that wants to be more richer than they already are by fucking you. And that fucking is almost universal for all of us at this point. That's inflation. Inflation, what I sat down and I'm like, how do I conquer inflation? Well, we got to look at the both sides of the inflation. Who benefits from inflation? Who stands to win from inflation? And it is undoubtedly corporations and the stock market. They start the ball rolling. They print the money. They get the huge loans, which, by the way, getting a loan is printing money. But it's unsustainable long term to survive on debt. But the ownership class is who benefits. The people that already own the shit. The dude that bought the house for $40,000 20 years ago is now sitting on $1 million house due to inflation. And if you were just working at McDonald's the whole time, trying to pay your student loan, another scam. Meanwhile, the guy that just bought a house to live in is now a millionaire. Why? Inflation. So it occurred to me that the only way to benefit from inflation, because inflation's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Not until we have a big depression or economic crash, another scam. But that's the time to get rich. That's the buying opportunity. So when you see blood in the streets and everybody's laid off and everyone's wondering how they're going to buy some bread, you should be out there buying shit up. But you can't do that if you don't have any fucking money, do you? So you got to have that funded account. But that's the only way the scam resets a bit. So right now, if I want to get ahead of inflation, I got to own shit. Preferably profitable companies. Stock. So at the very least, I keep pace with inflation. I'd like to outpace inflation. That's the hard part. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But I got to try. That's the point. I pretty much have no choice. Well, I have two choices. See, I lied. I have two choices. I can wallow in negativity for the next 10 to 15 years, depending on how long I live, while in this prison box, trying to keep ahead of inflation and debt and all of that other increasing costs of life. And just sit here and make videos every day about how everything sucks. Or I can try and do something about it and then increase my chances of maybe getting out of this mess. And I'm leaning on the side of doing something about it. Will I fuck up? Probably. Yeah. Almost definitely. So get your popcorn out. As I start this new investing journey, on top of paying down my debts, I'm on top of that, but I do have some disposable. So when I have disposable income, it's not just going to sit there in my bank account and lose money overnight to inflation or over the course of week by week. I got to put my money into owning something that goes up in value or in trading and create my own value. So we'll see. Is it possible? Probably not. I'm probably just, fap into some fantasy of retirement that I'll never get to. I'll be probably one of those old ass truckers if I live. If somebody doesn't just decide they need to make a fucking U-turn on an interstate and just jerks the wheel with one truck length for me to stop, then I'll be the next person smashed inside of a fucking trailer. God, that pissed me off watching that. It angered me seeing that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to Bonehead Trucker's YouTube channel. He's been running the fucking video on repeat and talking shit for 3, 4, 5, 10 days. I don't know. You know, ever since it happened, he's been on there railing against it. But watching the video just pisses me off. You know, and it's all because of scams. Another scam. Allowing people just cross the border. Why? It's called cheap labor and slavery, is really what it is. You know, and voters. But, you know, and I know some people are going to get political about this. And I'm a libertarian, once again, to clarify. I'm not a Trumper conservative MAGA guy, and I'm definitely not a lefty, because lefties piss me off more than Trump does. But that being said, Trump's been pissing me off lately with the whole homeless thing. You know, if you don't have a home, we're gonna lock you up in an institution, and you know, and all of this other horse shit, and also doing nothing about inflation. And when I heard him bitching that he wants to lower interest rates, which is the same as saying, when someone says, I want to lower interest rates, what they're saying is they want to increase inflation. Because that's exactly what will fucking happen if we lower interest rates right now. It'll be fucking happy days on the stock market if we do that. I wonder why he would want that. Could it be anything like when he launched his meme coin? You know? And then rug pulled a bunch of people right before he got fucking inaugurated? Remember that? I remember that. So clearly he's on the side of the rich, the stock market. He talks about doing better for making us great again. It's just another layer in the swamp. The swamp isn't being cleaned up by anybody. Nobody's doing it. So either you're in the swamp trying to swim with the fucking snakes and the fucking alligators and crocodiles and shit, or you become one of the ones that benefits from all of this shit. And that's how I'm looking at it. I need to be on that side of it. I can't be in this thing and expect to win. There's no winning. There's no retirement if I just sit in this box for another 10 years. There's me doing this until I die. Literally. That's it. That's the formula. If I stay into trucking for 10 years, I'm going to die in here. Period. So, I don't want to do that. So, I'm trying to learn my way out of it and invest my way out of it. So, that the next time they lower interest rates and the stock market goes to the moon and everyone's prices of fucking McDonald's goes up to $30 for a value meal, you know, then I'll be sitting in there and I'll be watching my account go up proportionally with inflation. And that's what I believe is happening with Bitcoin, by the way. You know, Bitcoin didn't just magically get more popular. Yeah, they make some ETFs out of it, but it's still the same fucking game. It's just a different commodity. So the fact it's going up has nothing to do with the value of Bitcoin actually going up. It has to do with the value of our spending power going down. You know, and who is able to buy more shit? People that are able to get more credit. You know, and then they get that credit or that margin and they go in and they put it in the market. And that's why inflation benefits the markets, benefits the owners, benefits the companies, but fucks the rest of us. And you can look up all the statistics all day. Go talk to ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT will fill you in. I don't know, you know, how much the corporations are telling the computer to, hey, maybe you need to manipulate people to think this. We'll see. You know, it might be a little tinfoil hat somewhere on my bald head. That's why I don't trust the AI chatbots to do everything like a lot of people seem to be doing nowadays. But that being said, it's time for me to start investing. It's time for me to learn how to properly trade options because I know it can be done. There's people out there doing it. There's somebody on a beach saying, "Woo, yeah, lower interest rates. Come on, yes. Let me buy some more because if they lower interest rates, guess what's going to happen to you know a lot of that going on." I want to be that guy. I don't want to be this guy. I want to be the guy on the beach with a laptop. It's my goal. I'm gonna work on it aggressively. We get there. Might happen. Or you'll get to laugh at me because I fucked up again and I'm broke. you know, who knows? We'll see. But that's where I'm at. Trucking update. So I had another productive week, $1,500 gross. I averaged $30 an hour with on duty and drive time. So it was a good week financially, but miserable and dangerous, definitely. So I'm still on track. I got paid though. I only of that 1,500, I got to collect 1,100 thanks to the government. Another scam going on. And then of course that 1,100 doesn't go very far. It seems like if I nail it and do a 70-hour solid week and get my maximum fucking hourly amount, that it all just, the extra goes to the government and I'm limited to this $1,100, $1,200. Makes me feel even more scammed. So my solution, obviously, is to try and invest so that I make more money on my money. Hence, get more money for my time over time. It's another reason I need to start working on it. It's because I can't get ahead, And they actually tax capital gains a lot less than they tax working. Imagine that. It's another scam. So, but we'll see. There's no capital gains, and I have to actually make up my loss because I think I started the year at an $800 negative on my brokerage account. So I actually got to make that up before I'm starting to worry about taxes again. So, another scam. Yeah, there's lots of scams everywhere. I did do the right thing by lowering my subscriptions. I haven't missed Amazon Prime or Netflix or any of that shit. The only things I've got subscriptions to right now, I still have my Xbox subscription. I'm actually going to cancel that this month. And, Game Pass and all of that. Because I haven't been using it. So why am I going to give another scam? And then AI. I still use AI in my videos, but not as much, so I've lowered that. So I only pay $35 a month for the AI stuff I do now. I'll probably try and keep it there. So I'm not gonna be cranking out lots of AI shit anyway. I mainly just use it for my intros and graphics at this point. I haven't put out an AI music video in a while, but I have been messing with music a bit. So I am still being creative. I still have it in me to be creative. For a while there, I was wondering if I'd ever do anything remotely creative again. But now I'm getting to that. I guess I'm recovering from just the mortality of it. I see so many people struggle through their life now and they die before me. And it really makes it difficult to say, why am I still here? It makes me, I don't know. And that's the thing about debt too. That's when you die, this is an actual quote from Steve before he died. He's like, if you still owe 20 grand when you die, you won. And he wasn't wrong in that. If you die in debt up to your eyeballs, you won. I mean, anybody that's saddled with that debt when you're gone, they're not going to be happy. But as far as you're concerned, you're like, oh, I got an extra 20 grand of free shit, and then I died. Hey, that works. So if I do get killed out here, at least I'm in the hole. Or it's the opposite when you got a lot to lose, isn't it? And then you get earned all that shit for nothing. You see how this nihilistic creep happens when someone near you dies, someone you're close with, um, and it just really fucks your head up. It really gets you to the point you're like, why am I doing all this stupid shit? You know, maybe I should just let it all fall apart. You know, let the van get repossessed, go bankrupt. You know, but no, I think the better way is to just be part of the winning class. And the only way to be part of the winning class is to buy shit that goes up. And it's pretty clear, looking at everything, on what goes up when inflation goes up. And that's real estate, the stock market, crypto, apparently. If only I had stayed in XRP from $1.50 to now, I'd be up pretty good. I need to work on that. I need to own things. I need to not constantly be liquid. I need to actually own some shit, too. And I need compounding dividends and compounding trades, you know. I need to sell puts until I finally get 100 shares of the underlying stock and then hold on to that and watch that grow as inflation goes. Till it all comes crashing down. And it could crash at any time. There's no guarantees here. This is like it's almost like I'm playing the lottery of life one last time before I run out of time. And that's the truth of it. I've got 12 years to try and figure out retirement. You know? And if I want more than 12 years, I have to figure it out pretty fucking quick, don't I? So there's a lot of motivation there. It's like, if you don't get on the ball and get this shit done in the next couple years, you're probably fucked. You know, it's like waiting to the last minute to do the right thing. You know, and that's what if you're young and watching this, I'm telling you, you should be paying attention. Don't make the mistakes I made. You know, if I had learned half this shit in my 20s, I'd already be on the beach with a laptop saying, oh, look at that. They want to lower interest rates and get more inflation. Yes, yes. I'd put a MAGA hat right on at that point. Be like, yes, let's lower interest rates. Fire Powell. Fire Jerome Powell. He needs to go. Fuck him. He won't lower the interest rates to boost the stock market. Well, fuck him. So, yeah, if you already own stock and you already own crypto and you've already got assets and real estate and all of that, you're probably smiling. You're like, yeah, see, I did it. Now he's finally figuring it out. Been watching him be a stupid prick all these years, and now he's finally going to do what he should have did 20 years ago. I hear you. You know, I should have. Instead, I'm back in the box. Shit, if I'd have done this 10 years ago, properly, at least really put my head down and just fucking made it happen. Well, now I got one last shot. That's what this is. This is my last shot. Once I shoot this shot, if it's a miss, if it falls apart, if it fails, I don't have any time for another shot. I just gotta make do with wherever I'm at. You know? As it stands now, I figured out today that I'm spending $250 a week on food. For just me, out here, $250 a week. That's too much. That's a huge chunk of my fucking weekly paycheck. So that tells me something. That tells me I'm getting scammed. So it's what it is. 250. Used to be I could get by with like $110. And I probably could if I ate ramen noodles and ate the shittiest processed fucking shelf-stable foods that I could find. Of course, then I'd have medical bills after that, eh? Or medical debt. But it's important for me to say nothing I said in this is financial advice, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet. And even when I do know what the fuck I'm doing, it doesn't mean it's no chance of not fucking up or something bad happening that caused it all to fall apart. Because it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. Like, I could have a nice $10,000 portfolio and then something comes along and ruins my life and I have to pull it out and spend it on whatever the fuck is causing problems. 100% possible thing because it happened to me. That's pretty much... I had this little plan when I quit the first time, but I didn't have the money to quit. You know, retiring without savings is not possible. The math doesn't math. I had to do it the hard way to find out. It would have mathed if emergencies didn't happen. But one thing you can count on is bad shit's going to happen. And you need to prepare for it. And that's what this year in the truck is going to be about. It's going to be about preparing to weather storms while not working for the man. So all these corporations I've been talking shit about, I'm their little bitch right now. I'm their little fucking slave, going down the road, hauling their shit, you know, giving them a nice 30 to 60 mile discount. Fucking scam. You know, I'm just going to start calling out all the scams. When I see a scam, I'll be like, that's a fucking scam. I'm not going to be shy about it. I'll be standing in line in the Dairy Queen. And it'll be like $8 for your small sundae. And I'll be like, that's a fucking scam. You know, it's what it is. Of course, I got to stop going to Dairy Queen or I'm going to have a grabber before I get to fucking retirement anyway. Anyways. So yeah, trucking is doing okay for now. There's been some hiccups here or there. One of the reasons I was able to hit 30 an hour was I got a day of layover pay. Actually pulled off a 34-hour reset as a result, just because a load didn't pan out. You know, and then there was a couple of customers where I got there and they weren't there and I had to wait overnight to get unloaded, that kind of stuff. So this week might be a little slower, but because I'm getting close to going home again. I'm going to have some time off. So, but I just wanted to kind of update y'all. I know I haven't made a video in a while because it's quite exhausting working out here. But I wanted you to know that I haven't given up. Not given up on my dream of retirement. Even semi-retirement. And I'll never fully retire. I'll always be doing something to make money. But I don't want to have to leverage all my time. Part of my time. I can live with that till I die. But 70 hours a week, 60 hours a week? No, don't want to do that. And I'm doing it now so I don't have to do it later. And that's why I'm in this box. It's not fun in this box. And it's worse out here. It's less safe, you know. That's why I got so angry at that video, which you should go check it out. Bonehead Truckers. Just look it up. You'll see it. You'll see thumbnails about it. And I need to get the fuck out of here. I've done my time. I've made it 21 years without fucking dying. I think at this point, this would be where you sell your stock, you know, where you get to the top, the peak. It's time to maybe take some profit. Well, I didn't do that. And if I don't do that, it's going to be 30 years of trucking. With a nice solid heart attack or getting killed by a jackass that got a CDL out of a cereal box from a sanctuary city. You know, we want to avoid all of that. I want to have some time. Spend it more with my girlfriend. Actually get to travel a little bit. That'd be nice too. Like, this is not traveling. This is in a box. I get to see things outside of my windshield that look like, hey, that look cool. Too bad I can't park anywhere. Because they charge it. It's another scam. Oh, and the other latest scam is even if you do find a place to park, like a Walmart parking lot, if you're not a Walmart truck, guess what? They'll put boots and shit and fucking things on your window and charge you $700. I get warnings on my fucking computer for that. Yeah, that's another thing. Be careful where you park because there's predatory tow companies that are out there trying to rack you a $500 to $700 fine so that you can drive away. You know, I ain't paying that. I don't know, sirree. I ain't paying that. It's not happening. It's not my truck. You know, it is what it is. But I try to avoid putting myself in that situation. I'm not going to give away my secret because I don't want to have to pay for a parking spot. You know. Well, let's just say if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're probably going to have a hard time finding a place to park at the end of the day. All right. But what the fuck do I know? I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. None of this is financial advice. Don't do what I'm doing. It's stupid. Just watch, get your popcorn out, or your keto popcorn, or whatever, is there such a thing? No, probably not. And, just watch the train wreck in slow motion. Or, on the off chance I succeed, you'll have been here for the whole fucking thing, the whole journey. And those of you who have stuck it out all these years on this channel, I appreciate you. A lot of you have been watching me multiple years at this point. I don't get a lot of new people in. Gee, I wonder why. It's another scam. So I appreciate those of you who have been around. So please like and subscribe for more shit. And if you want more shit, those are the requirements. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends that, there's a dickhead who's trying to retire and he's not doing it. And it's funny. I think. Is it funny that I haven't succeeded yet at age 50? I don't know. But, I'll make videos when I can. Like I said, it's a hobby at this point. This isn't how I'm retiring, by the way. Everyone wants to be a fucking content creator nowadays. 60% of the new generation's like, I want to be a content creator. Yay! You're already being replaced by AI. 50% of the fucking internet traffic is bots. It's a statistic. Look it up. I think you could even ask the bots what that statistic is, and they'll tell you, hey, yeah, we got half the internet, motherfucker. So, guess what? That lowers the value of being a content creator. As in, people aren't going to be paying because you only get so much watch time out there. And as it becomes more shitty, less people are going to even go on the platform to watch anything. So, good luck being for the 50% of the young generation that wants to be a content creator. You want to know what my advice would be to the new generation? Don't do what I did. Well, do what I did, but do it with a proper plan. And that is get in a trade, learn a trade. Don't go to fucking college. Don't get a student loan. Don't run up a bunch of credit. I mean, do some little credit, but nothing that you'll get yourself fucked with. Just do enough to get your credit score up in case you want a mortgage someday. Don't advise that either. And start investing. Every penny you can spare. And if you can avoid paying rent, living in a truck or living in a vehicle, although that's been outlawed now all over the fucking place, I'm not happy about because van life is part of my retirement plan. So I'll be a little unhappy if I know I'm going to get locked up in a fucking institution if I park at the fucking Walmart parking lot overnight. Get the knock. Hey, sleeping in your vehicle? Come with us. Yeah. Fuckers. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's all a scam. And at least if you're buying assets, that's what it is. Always be buying. If you're a young kid, get in the trades, make your money, but take as much of that money as you can spare, and if that means eating ramen noodles and living in a tent under I-90 and then collecting your check and then investing all of it, do that. And do that for 20 years and watch it snowball. And then maybe, just maybe, you might be able to afford a house after you've made $1 million in stock market. Because that's what it's going to cost you to buy a fucking house. Good luck. At least you'll have a good practice living in that tent under the bridge first. All right. Have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. I got to get up at 3 a.m. to go into Indianapolis. It's great. So glad I'm doing this job again. And I'm doing it for a 60-mile load. That's right. It's a fucking scam. It's a fucking bullshit scam.